Alright, take a nice big deep breath so you can get your seatbelt tugged. Double check the steering wheel. Sit back, relax, get a nice pace, nice rhythm, and let's go out there and have a good day, alright, bud?
The first horse racing track in Virginia was a 1-mile oval operating in 1739 at Williamsburg. Horses circled the track several times to complete one race, compared to today's races of 1¼ miles, or, for the Belmont Stakes, 1½ miles. In the 1700s, Virginia had multiple racetracks, with tracks in Henrico County, Northampton County, Northumberland County, Rappahannock County, Richmond, Surrey County, and Westmoreland. Horse racing stayed as the most popular form of racing for centuries. However, something was brewing. France, 1894, the site of the first automobile race. The race was from Paris to Rouen, a nice and simple 137 kilometers, or 85 miles give or take. The first race in America would take place in 1895 in Illinois, Chicago to Evanston. Motor racing was here in America. Virginia would eventually hold its first race in Norfolk. Norfolk would have the first ever automobile on Virginian streets in 1899. The first race, however, would take place in 1904. Remember those horse racing tracks? Those were the first racetracks, not only for horses, but for automobiles as well. The first race in the state capitol was run in August of 1907. At the time, there was a new fairgrounds track just west of the city near North Boulevard. The location is now the location of the Diamond. Motor racing would become a staple with both car racing and motorcycle racing taking place at the site. Now there's a different Richmond Fairgrounds. This location, formerly known as Strawberry Hill, is still active to this day. Richmond Raceway's first race was held in 1946, with AAA national champion Ted Horn winning the race. However, the first race for stock cars was in 1953, with 3-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Lee Petty winning the race. The track still holds races to this day. However, Richmond isn't the only track in the state that holds NASCAR races. In Southern Virginia, there lies the Martinsville Speedway. The track, a staple of the NASCAR schedule, has been open since 1948. The first NASCAR-sanctioned race at the Paperclip was held on July 4th of that year. It was one of the first tracks in NASCAR. The track has become a fan favorite, with its close-quarters racing proving to cause drivers' tempers to blow and providing some fantastic racing. One of the most iconic moments happened in 2022, with Ross Chastain pulling off a video game move to make it into the Championship 4, keeping the throttle down and riding the wall. Another track, located in Alton, is vastly different from Martinsville and Richmond. Virginia National Raceway, a 3.27-mile road course, was opened in August of 1957. VIR's first official race was an SCCA race with a star-studded roster of drivers: Carroll Shelby, Carl Haas, Bob Holbert, Don Yanko, Dr. Dick Thompson, Walt Hansgen, and Bruce Jennings. Shelby, a 24 Hours of Le Mans winner, said of VIR, "One lap at VIR is like 100 at Watkins Glen." VIR is a special track as it was shut down. In the early 1970s, the track fell into some hard times. That and the 1973 gas crisis caused the track to close in 1974. In 1998, Connie Nieholm and Harvey Siegel would resurrect VIR. The track was reopened in 2000, and within 2 years, the track would be hosting professional sport car races and amateur races as well. However, circle track racing and circuit racing aren't the only types of racing in Virginia. There's another form. Drag racing. Drag racing started out in California. During the 1930s, engines got better, drivers got braver, and speed started increasing. The speeds were reaching 100 miles per hour until World War II broke out. During the war, the United States placed a temporary ban on auto racing to put the fuel towards the war effort. It wasn't until after the war and all restrictions were lifted that drag racing took off. The biggest drag strip in the state of Virginia is Virginia Motorsports Park. Opened in 1994 in Dinwiddie, VMP was home to the NHRA Virginia Nationals. The track still hosts car shows and drag races to this day, with drag races happening weekly. Some of the big events are Street Outlaws, coming for their No Prep Kings Championship, as well as the Professional Drag Racers Association, or PDRA. Two of the races, the Night of Fire and the World Finals, are hallmark events of the PDRA schedule. The history of racing for Virginia doesn't end at just the racetracks. there are tons of people who help expand the history of racing for this state. Drivers and team personnel alike. On the driver's side for NASCAR, you have Daytona 500 winner Ward Burton and his brother, 21-time NASCAR Cup Series winner Jeff Burton, 17-time NASCAR Cup Series winner Curtis Turner, 3-time Daytona 500 champion Denny Hamlin, the first ever NASCAR Cup champion Red Byron, and Wendell Scott, the first African-American NASCAR winner. Matt Hagan, Jim and Allison Lee, General Lee Edwards, and Pee Wee Wallace are from the discipline of drag racing. With team owners, there's only really one that everyone knows. And if you know racing in America, chances are you've heard of them. 1950, Moore Speedway, just outside of Martinsville. The story of a legendary team would start and almost end. Glenn Wood was involved in an accident that would force him to not finish. About 10 miles up the road, the wheel would fall off the car, jerking the gas neck out of the car, spilling gasoline, which would spark and ignite. We had some extra gas cans and extra tires and tools that we were carrying in the race car. Once in a while, a gas can would blow up in there. We were scared to get close to it because of that, so we let it burn until it burned up about everything. That was the first race I ever got to start, so we figured it might all be over, said Glenn Wood. However, it wasn't over. Not only did he manage to fix the car and finish third at Dan River Speedway, but he would end up creating one of the most iconic teams in the sport of racing. Glenn and his brother Leonard founded Wood Brothers Racing with the number 21. Together, the team would win 99 NASCAR Cup races, and they would be the team for multiple iconic drivers, including A.J. Foyt, David Pearson, Dale Jarrett, Kyle Petty, Neil Bonnet, Ryan Blaney, and Virginia native Elliott Sadler, to name a few. To this day, racing goes on strongly in Virginia, from asphalt to dirt, ovals to straight lines. Racing is a column of Virginian culture. While motorsports hasn't been the most popular sport recently, it is undeniable that it is a staple. From dirt races carved out of the colonial countryside for horses, to cathedrals of speed for metal boxes that reach triple-digit speeds. To this day, there are races weekly. And while many say Virginia is for lovers, I say that Virginia is for racing lovers.